I think there's maybe there are definitely some good schools out there, but I think some of the mistakes, at least in my opinion, that I see being made in education is that the teachers do not explain why kids are being taught a subject. Just sort of get dumped into math and like, well, why are you learning math? What's the point of this? This seems like some, for some people, like maybe it's I don't know why I'm being asked to do these strange problems. But the why of things is extremely important, because our brain has evolved to not to discard information that it thinks has no relevance. So then, if on the one hand you're being asked to memorize or learn, say formulas, but you do not know why this is the case, then you have this cognitive dissonance of it seems irrelevant, but I'm being told to remember it, so I'll be punished. So I better remember it. But so the why of things is very important, and then being able to and then picking kind of a problem, and then using various educational tools to solve that problem, like using math or physics or economics to solve that problem, is far more engaging than teaching the tools. It's the difference between if you say, well, we're going to take apart this engine and see how it works and put it back together again. And then in order to take the engine apart, we need wrenches and screwdrivers and a winch and Allen keys and whatnot. And then in the course of solving the problem of taking the engine apart and putting it back together, you learn about wrenches and screwdrivers and all the tools that you need. And then now you understand the relevance. This is why wrenches are important. Whereas if you had a class on wrenches, why does this not seem that great? So tying it to solving a problem is, I think, very powerful for establishing relevance and getting kids excited about what they're working on, and having the knowledge stick. I think things like CubeSats, like what is a solar panel, how does orbital dynamics work, how do we power this thing, how do batteries work, electronics, control systems, and you need to. Then you're like, oh, we want to make our satellite work. That's why we need to understand all these disciplines. So things like CubeSats, student CubeSats are great. Like things like design, build, fly for model airplanes or Formula SAE. We've got to design and build a kind of a race car and race that against other people. I think those things are very powerful for learning tools.
Actually, I created a little school. It's called Ad Astra, which means to the stars. That's maybe a bit different from most other schools, is that there aren't any grades. There's no like not grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 type of thing. I'm making all the children go in the same grade at the same time, like an assembly line. Because some people love English or languages, some people love math, some people love music, and they have different abilities at different times. It makes more sense to cater the education to match their aptitudes and abilities. I think that's one principle. Another is that it's important to teach problem solving, or teach to the problem, not to the tools. And then a very important thing happens, which is that the relevance of the tools becomes apparent. Well, I just didn't see that the regular schools, they weren't doing the things that I thought should be done, like, those two principles, they weren't adhering to those principles. So I thought, well, let's see what we can do. Maybe creating a school will be better. And I actually hired a teacher from the school they were at, who also agreed with me that there was a better way to do it. It seems to be going pretty well. The kids really love going to school. I think that's a good sign. I hated going to school when I was a kid. It was torture. So the fact that they actually think vacations are too long, they want to go back to school. There's no need even to have a college degree, or even high school. If somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. If you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college. But if you had a chance to hire them, of course, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know, just looking just for evidence of exceptional ability, and if there's a track record of exceptional achievement, then it's likely that that will continue into the future.